Might be helpful if I add myself to the stage and say hello to you here on the moment with one Munson. It's usually the moment with the Munsons. It's just the Munson. I'd like to think the Munson, or maybe it's just a Munson. And I've got a great mate joining me on the screen in just a moment. That's if I can make this mouse work. I've got a really naughty mouse playing up here today, which has given me a bit of stress before the show started. But I'm sure as soon as Benjamin Stubbs joins me on the screen, all will be well and calm again. But this mouse will not move. So whilst it is working, I'm going to bring him straight onto the screen. So if I can't do anything, at least he can talk to you. Do let us know how you're doing in the chat, if you will. And it'd be lovely to have your company for the next half hour. And I think we will be doing a little bit of a process. This is the moment, and we like to enjoy a moment together, and we like to what's happening here? Mrs. M has just burst into the studio draped in a towel. This is the oddest of shows. It really is. Let's change the subject. Bring Benjamin onto the screen. Yay! Go crazy.
He's just come to watch the show live. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here this morning. She told me I was doing the show on my own with you today. Thank you very much. She's now doing technical support behind the scenes, just dressed in a towel. That mouse she's just given me doesn't work at all. But anyway, how are you, Benjamin? It's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too. You're looking really well, mate. A little bit of online flirting, but you're looking really well.
Don't mind a bit of online flirting. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, a nice little bit of blonde quiff here with the Portugal sun.
It's very TV, isn't it? The last few bits of hair I've got left are delicately placed on the top of my head.
And then you've got a nice scarf. You are rocking the look.
No, really. That's the funny thing. This is showbiz and television, right? Because it's cold. That's why I've got a scarf on here in tropical Portugal. And whilst my hair may have been, or might look like it's been bleached by the Mediterranean sun here, it's actually the lighting in the studio, I think. Oh, okay. Or some hair product that Mrs. M has been inflicting on me and having me try out in the shower. Anyway, good afternoon, boys. Hello, everyone. I'm behind the scenes today. Hope you have fun. And you are the Munson. Okay, all right. Okay, so let me just take a breath. And are you going to take us through a little bit of a process after we found out a bit about you, Benjamin?
Well, yeah, if you want me to.
I would really love that.
Pretty as Louisa, but I'll stand in for today. But it's so good to get back on air with you, mate. I've missed it.
It is. And you know, the last time I saw you was on a video on YouTube that came up giving out free hugs in a Welsh town.
Yeah.
That's going back a bit, isn't it?
That was 2008. So it's like literally 16 years ago.
Yeah, amazing.
And just for you, could I be more hippie? I've got the special mug, so I don't think it mirrors on here. But
warmest energies, get in. I've got some merch here.
Ooh.
Enjoy the moment.
You're going to show me a live, laugh, love one.
Well, actually, that's something I want to talk with you about today. And so people know, we are very familiar, as you can hear me and Ben. And we met probably 15 years ago, I would say, around that sort of time. Yeah, when we were doing something called
a bit longer. It's Blog Talk Radio, wasn't it? Oh no, yeah, 2010. Yeah, it was.
Yes, that's right. It was. Yes, it was. I think it was around that sort of time. Anyway, but you know, suffice to say, it's quite a long time ago now, isn't it? And when we first, what I'd like to do is have a conversation about how things have changed. Whilst they've stayed the same in many ways, they've changed, haven't they? And I guess that's the nature of spirituality and what might be called human potential or transformation of the new age or however you want to refer to it. And when you and I first had our early conversations, we were talking about the law of attraction because you were big into that at that time, weren't you? And you know, you and I have seen each other go, I don't know if it's go through different phases or have a different angle. On this world we call spirituality, to come to now and catch up in this conversation today and share our understanding of what that means to us after all this time that we've got to reflect on. So there it was, the law of attraction. What's your journey been from then when I met you up until today? How would you put it?
It's like a beautiful hero's journey, isn't it? Going out and trying all and coming back. So basically the law of attraction for me, the reason why it blew my mind so much was because in 2007 or 8, The Secret kept coming to me. Like someone mentioned it, then someone had it, and then someone gave it me. I was like, what? 3 times The Secret was mentioned to me. So I was like, right, I'm going to Because I've always been open-minded to spirituality. I've always believed there's something more. Like when I was younger, I always got ghost and UFO books from the school library and stuff. And then so then when it's coming, I watched it. I just tingled. It was like that. Something resonated. It wasn't like I was learning something. It was like I was going, yeah, this is how life is. This is how life is. Now, The Secret is an interpretation of the law of attraction. But if you could look at it in all different levels and layers, and obviously it's a, like anything, it's a translation of her version, Rhonda Byrne's version of it. And of course, since then, there's loads of little offshoots. But for me, the crux of it that hasn't ever left me is the thing that shifted by watching that is you go from believing that life happens to you to the part of the creative process. You are part of life. Rather than being a pinball being bounced about by life, you have some sort of co-creational dance. How that dance is, what that whether it's a cha-cha-cha or the conga, I don't know.
Or some punk pogoing sometimes.
Pogoing. But I just feel that hasn't changed. So throughout this whole journey, it's then like what I've looked at different modalities and different teachers, but the crux, I kind of sift through it, is all the same. It's the same nuggets of gold that, you know, we've all had it where something, you change something about you and then something changes outside, whether it's something you manifest. I hate the word manifest because manifest and law of attraction has got such dirty names, but the idea of
so doesn't it when it becomes a craze and we repeat them over and over again, that's the thing about words, is they can lose their meaning and become
even the word God, like I believe there's something more, but the word God feels tainted to me because soon you say the word God to someone, people think then you are automatically believe the Bible 100%, you know, and all these different things. And I don't, but I believe there's something more. So for me, that journey's always been the same. So that kind of core belief has always been there since watching The Secret. Now, obviously, different ways of doing it, but for me, it's about that I'm part of the creation of my life. How much say I have and how that all intermingles and how that works with you and everyone else, I'm still not fully sure, but I'm fascinated by it. So I believe there's a collective consciousness, you know, like the idea of, you know, the 4-minute mile, that they were trying to break the 4-minute mile many years ago. Everyone that kept trying to do it kept falling at the last hurdle, and then someone broke it within 2 weeks. Loads of people had done it. And there's a collective, I believe it's a collective consciousness that we're all born through. And we do kind of, what's the word? Oh my God, ascension. We kind of ascend together, but we have our own individual kind of playground, so to speak. So
that's another one of those words, though, isn't it? Ascension. You know, like, and it's like, oh, ascension and light workers. They're all as kind of as not harmful, but as unhelpful as they might be helpful.
If you think about it, we get onto the point of where it's a bit like how you'd say that people aren't spiritual. You know, they get their rat race, they go the 9-to-5ers, the spiritual people sit holier than thou going, oh yes, I'm spiritual, I know all this stuff. Oh, look at you, sheep over there. But actually, sometimes with the spiritual thing, if we don't deal with ourselves, we end up having the exact same routine, but we have to bless, we have to love and light. We kind of do, we're in the same prism as the kind of non-spiritual people. So I think what I try to find is that balance between the two. That, you know, we're here for human life, otherwise we wouldn't be here. But the spiritual aspects, the law of attraction, even things like now, all the unidentified flying objects and the orbs in the sky, there's so much more going on than what we know. But I think for me, I've just found that balance. I've gone from one extreme and then kind of found a kind of middle ground of all. I think that's my journey.
How have you done it, and what have you done, just so that people know? Because you're extraordinary and you're very modest, so I have to kind of eke this out of you a bit. But you wrote about it, didn't you? You didn't just watch The Secret and we didn't just have conversations. You became an author based on that. I think as a first major step, right, in your expansion and unfolding.
Yeah, just the thing is, what I've learned is life should be more fun than what it is, and I just do things that I want to do. So if I want to write a book, I'll write a book. And if I want to make a song, I'll make a song. And if I want to, you know what I mean? And I think and that's what I kind of done, really. I think it's all like, oh, sorry. Louisa's mentioned, Louisa.
I thought she was talking to me.
No, I saw an orb last night. Now, I've shared it on my Facebook because it wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't a plane. It was interesting how it moved, and they're the type of things that I'm excited about. Like, it wasn't a drone, it's the first time I've seen something. I'd say the first time I've properly seen something that I could not explain. And that's happening all around the world. So I think there's lots going on.
Sorry, but Ben, this is utter chaos. I've been thrown into the show on my own, and now I've got children coming to ask me for it. Can you get ask Mum, please, mate? Thank you so much.
You know, it reminds me of, remember that viral video that went round over COVID? That guy being interviewed.
Yeah, dragging his kid out. He like trying to put his like
Trying to push him
hand
off.
off his kid there.
Don't touch my scarf.
Yeah. Yes. Do you know how much this cost? All right. So your all picture is on Facebook, is it? And that can be downloaded.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you. I'll make it public. It was just so basically it's filmed from this room. So this is my kind of meditation / spare room / office. But it's this window. I tried to get natural lighting, but it's very unflattering. So it went across behind the trees, etc. Louisa's seen fiery balls in the sky.
Is that a kind of potato snack or something that
Just
needs medical attention? I don't know.
No, I think going back to it, the kind of core of what I believe is just life should be fun. It should be more fun than what it is. And I try to be aware of what's going on. Yeah. And I know what's going on, but I try not to get lost in it because that achieves nothing. You know what I mean? A cynic is always right but unhappy, always unhappy. Yeah. So it's just choosing the battle. I know what's going on. So someone's come to me with some I wouldn't say conspiracy because most conspiracy is true now. But if someone came to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard about that, or probably know about it. I just don't want to focus on it as much as I can because I feel that.
Well, that's another thing I want to talk to you about, you see, because it's very interesting, isn't it? The as soon as something that interests you, like so, we started with the law of attraction, didn't we? As soon as you start to focus on something, there's this great paradox, isn't there, of you make it into a thing and you might start banging the drum about it. And then what was magical and ethereal and helpful and special about it gets turned into a hobby, doesn't it? Or it gets made mundane by the very focus of being attached to it. But the attachment changes it, doesn't it?
Exactly, and that's going back to the kind of all the basic Buddhist teachings. Is that you should let go of the attachment. Now, I think it's been misconstrued over the years, where people say, "Oh, you shouldn't have desires because not Buddha. You shouldn't have desires." No, it didn't. Desirelessness didn't mean don't want. It just means let go. Yeah. Desire is I need that, but then that's where I've combined the two because we have two spots of the spiritual world. One is saying, "Yeah, manifest whatever life's about creating." Another half are going, "Oh, you shouldn't really need anything. Be grateful for air and water." And let go of your desires. But the truth is, we're here to play. Yes. But let it go. Don't get. What you're saying is you get attached to it. So you have a good meditation. So then you do that every day, and it doesn't have the same effect. And I think what you're saying is you're getting attached to it rather than being more fluid with our kind of guidance. Where kids, I've watched kids. They don't pick up the yellow crayon and be like, "I'm just going to color with a yellow because I'm very grateful for yellow." They're like colors and. Then they want to bake. Then they're outside in the mud, and I think that's how we should be spiritually.
Very interesting. Okay, let me take you back to your beginnings as an author. Then, so you wanted to have your own take, express your own point of view on the law of attraction. What happened, and how easy was that process?
Oh, the actual writing was just good fun, and I wanted to kind of put my 2 pence in it, as everyone else did, really, and just because everyone has their own like some people that came to me for client work, they loved me, but then other people I was too woo-woo. Some people I wasn't spiritual enough, and it's all about finding your kind of channels of information. So I just wanted to write one through my prism, and if someone likes it, great, and had some nice feedback. Did it sell millions? No, but that wasn't about that. I did it because I enjoyed it, and if someone picks up a book in 20 years down the line that's in a library or somewhere, then it's done its job, hasn't it, really?
And what was the book or your books? I mean,
so I did one about my life called The Happiness Trail, and then I did one called The Law of Attraction Simples, which is just making very much just take each day, choose the best options, etc. And then recently I did one called The Happiness Bootcamp, because people say when they come into this arena, like, oh my God, like, where do I start? Like, do I meditate? Do I not? Do I cold plunge? Do I not? Do I need to affirm? Do I not? So I just gave someone, like, you go boot camp in the UK or anywhere. And because in the gym, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I like boot camps because you go and then they go, right, you beep and you move on all the different stations. You do 1 minute of burpees, 1 minute of sit-ups, 1 minute of arm presses and different things. And I know when I'm done, I've kind of done a bit of everything. The PT is set up. I just turn up, pay my £5, do my stuff and go. So I thought, if I just tell someone what to do for 30 days, like, I will tell you what to do for 30 days and see how you feel.
Mhm.
And that's why I said
And what did people find? Because we got involved with you on that, didn't we? And we were talking about it on my Good Morning Portugal show. And it was
yeah.
such a lovely that the concept how you presented there is great. It is really helpful to people who just want to be, have a serving suggestion and get on with it, and then try it and see what happens, rather than too much talk or philosophizing about it.
Yeah, because that's what I said. If you want the theory, this book's not for you. It was a thin
Yeah.
book. You could read it in an hour, max. It was just do it. A bit like I've really got into recently. I've listened to The Science of Getting Rich by
Yes.
Wallace Wattle. That was
Yeah.
what inspired The Secret. Now, of course, that title straight away makes the spiritual people go, "We don't need money. We shouldn't need to be rich." But actually, the book isn't about that. It's about being spiritually rich.
Yes.
Rich of friends, rich of food, rich of money, rich of life, rich of laughter.
Yeah.
And he was similar in that. He's saying, "Look, I'm not here to tell you the science. Just do what I say."
Yeah.
So actually, I was he was 100 years ahead of me. So
Yes, well, you're in good company, aren't you? There, and I get the feeling now. And by the way, if you're tuned in, if you're watching this later as well, we will get around to a little bit of a process, which is probably one of the recommendations that you give in your book itself, there, Ben. So people were getting a sort of practical insight and getting some practical results with it. What was the feedback like for the boot camp?
overall good, because obviously I sold it, so obviously I don't really hear from the people, but friends that have had it felt, because obviously it was sold via Amazon, so I sold a few at bookstores, but a lot of them obviously went out and I never heard back from them.
Yes.
So I've got a few good reviews on Amazon, so I'm hoping it's all right.
So if people do look for you, Happiness Bootcamp on by Benjamin Stubbs.
So it's the Happiness Bootcamp by Benjamin Stubbs.
Very good.
And the 30-day Happiness Bootcamp, I think they're full time. Benjamin Stubbs, there isn't many of us.
Okay, right. No, absolutely. One and only is with me today here on the moment with one Munson on the screen, and I would type it onto the ticker tape if I dared move my mouse, which I don't want to keep moving it because it's a little bit risky to do so, I think. And the feeling I get now is where we used to be quite intense and focused on these things, and that we made them very important. You've really kind of lightened up, and I don't mean that in a patronizing way, but you've sort of let go of your grip on the spiritual steering wheel, haven't you? Well, that's how it appears anyway.
Yeah, well, even politically, like I would be classed as, from 5-6 years ago, I'd have been classed as left wing, like in the sense of I hate left and versus right and all that stuff. But even politically, I've had to kind of just try and find the middle ground. And in the sense of like in America at the moment, like it's fascinating because the people that I used to love on the Democratic Party, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, who I really inspired in 2020. I thought, oh, they'd be great as American leaders. And now in Trump's cabinet. But of course, you mentioned Trump straight away. People either love or hate him. And
it's very polarized, isn't it?
It is. But what I think now, when I say my job, what I mean is I just want to balance. I think we need to balance out. We need to realize not everyone is good and not everyone is bad. There's yin and yang in all of us. There's light and dark.
Yes, absolutely.
So Trump has got some bad things, but he's doing some amazing things. Like I'm loving Doge, finding out all these awful things. And it's fascinating to watch the world pan out where you've got the right just celebrating everything Trump does is right. And the left just going, everything Trump does is wrong. But actually, it's about, I don't know if you saw that GIF the other day of someone like robbing a house and someone shouting at the person, telling them that they're being robbed rather than the robbers himself. And like the Doge stuff in America is fantastic and fascinating to understand. And the links to the media, etc. But the left don't want to talk about that because that means they like Trump. So for me, everything like going back to spirituality, politically, is all about balance now. I'm just trying to see everything is balance and not be attached, like you said, the spiritual steering wheel to, I'm left wing, so I've got to hate Trump. Oh no, I'm right wing now, so I've got to love Trump. For me, it's just all about finding that balance and actually questioning myself all the time. And the technique I want to share with you is similar to that, but the idea of always like letting go of who we are. We don't have to be that person we were yesterday, but our ego says you have to, otherwise you're weak or you've changed. But it's
your conditioning, that's right, and your old sort of trauma-based responses are doing that, aren't they? Yes, and the picture you describe. I mean, I wrote an article about this last night about how I think a lot of these reactions are helping bring things to light for our unfolding. So on the one hand, the sort of polarizing political process seems to be making people more and more separate and feel more and more alone. But it's also giving us the opportunity to be more expanded, to have a sort of transcendent look at ourselves, at what's going on and what's pushing our buttons, which is a remarkable opportunity, as painful as it might be as well for many people. And we do acknowledge that this is, you know, seriously painful for some people as well.
Yeah, and I think it's all about just being easy on ourselves on this journey. We're here trying to figure it all out.
Yes.
And I think that, you know, but I think for me, everything is realizing that I've just got to take the healing process moving forward about the world, is realizing that, you know, we've got to just, like, if I said like Trump on Facebook, or if I posted something positive about something he'd done, I know that a lot of people just jump on me.
Yes.
And I'm like, that shouldn't be right either. And I did this, I'd do the same if it was the opposite side. And I think it's just, we need to get past that, this tribalism. The same with Brexit, same with different things. And it's just, but the great thing about it is the power of awareness. You said about my journey, obviously I still believe in spirituality, law of attraction, but a lot of it is awareness. What am I thinking? Why am I responding like that?
Yes.
Not to beat myself up about it, but go, why am I defending that person? Why do I feel I have to defend that person just because someone else said an opposing view, saying what I believe is wrong? Okay, it might be wrong, actually. I don't know. I might be right and I might be wrong. And it's taking that humility to question everything about ourselves all the time. That I might be a different person tomorrow than I was today, and there's nothing wrong with that. And especially with politics, it's been really eye-opening for me, my friends, that there's so many people that came out and said, literally came out of the Trump kind of closet going, actually, I agree with what he's done there. I agree with what he's done there. But no one dares say it because you feel then suddenly you're a Trump fan. And it's not about being a Trump fan or not. It's about saying, actually, I love the fact he's got RFK in, trying to look after healthy foods. I love the fact they're finding out where the billions of pounds have gone. That's good. There's nothing bad about that. So other aspects, I don't agree with everything, but I think we need to be allowed to do that. And I think that's everything.
So take a look at mostly at ourselves. And is that the exercise you're going to, is this a self-awareness expanding?
Yeah, it is actually. So it's perfect. I've always had conversation. It's actually called the Sedona method. And it's where you ask yourself 3 questions. And you go into a feeling about something. So it's a bit like the modalities where like EFT or tapping, where you give yourself a scale of 0 to 10. So you find something that you feel like's got a bit of a grip on you. Do you want me to do it now? Do you want me to go through it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we've only got about 8 minutes left.
Oh, geez. Okay. So, so the idea would be, so just get a feeling of something that you kind of feel that you can't let go of. So it might be a comment that someone said to you. Good one to try is something easier because we've only got 8 minutes. Is to go, like someone might have knocked you, a comment that might have knocked you, or something you think, oh, I really want to let go of this, or just something small. Don't do anything big in 8 minutes, and give yourself like a scale of 10. So 10 being like super strong, 0 being obviously nothing, which would be pointless, but something in between. So just be aware of that, okay? And then so think of something, and then you find the feeling within you, be aware of it, what it feels like, what it looks like, where it is. And just ask the question, could I let this go? And just ask, it sounds weird, but ask the feeling, could I let this go? Now, if it's quite strong anger, it's like, nope, they deserve it. So it could.
No way.
Yeah, the feeling could be like, nope, no way. That is okay. It's not about ticking the boxes, being right, getting to the end. It's about, okay, no way. That's fine. Okay, so then you keep the feeling. And then you ask it the next question going, but if I could, would I let this go? So then ask the question again. So, okay, what if I could, would I let this go? And take a second and ask the feeling, would I let this go? And the answer might be, no, I don't think so. That's up to you what you feel, but there's no judgment. If it's a definite no, that's fine. If it's a big yes, that's fine. There's no competition. It's not you say yes and you win a chocolate bar. You just want to give it a chance to breathe and speak the feeling. Yeah. And the final question you ask it is, if I could and I would let it go, when will I let it go?
Oh, my word.
So could I let this go? So when would I let this go? And again, ask it that question, because basically what you're kind of saying is you've got freedom to hold on to it, but you kind of acknowledge that you are holding on to it. And that gives you the freedom to hold on to it or to let go.
Yeah.
So then just take a deep breath, Carl, and then go back to that feeling.
Yes.
Is it dropped a little bit?
It definitely it dropped during the process with the excellent questioning.
It's just 3 simple questions. I'll do another round of it just in case other people it's gone down from like an 8 to a 6.
Yes.
So again, just find the feeling. It might have changed. It might be sadness now instead of anger. It might be shame instead of anger. Just trust your emotion. Find it. I think the key thing is when you find it and just give you a second to be aware of what you're feeling. How does it feel? Is it fuzzy? Is it heavy? Is it in your stomach? Just find it and just welcome it. And you're not fighting it. You're not pushing it away. It's a bit like saying, don't think of a pink elephant. You thought of one. So you're welcoming it. You're not pushing it away. And just ask it, could I let this remaining feeling go? Could I let this remaining feeling go? There's no pressure to say yeah, no pressure to say no. Just a honest, easy question. Could I let this remaining feeling go? And then get an answer. It might say, it just might not be as it was before. Next question, would I let this go? So would I, if I could, would I let this go? And it might be, yeah, I might now actually. It might not. It might be just a bit looser. So would I let this go? If I could, would I let this go? And the final question is, well, if I could and I would, when? When will I let this go? Now, normally from a point when I do use this with clients, they'll go, oh, it just feels closer. I'm not there yet, but the timeline feels closer.
So, and you can continue in your own time, can't you?
Exactly. So, and then you take a deep breath and then you repeat the process again, which is one, welcome the feeling, find it, don't push it away, don't fight it. And then ask the three questions. Could I let this go? Would I let this go? When will I let this go? But all the questions are non-judgmental, no pressure. It's just a general, you can stay if you want to, but could I let this go? And just the awareness of it, it's the kind of metacognition of it, just separates you from that feeling. And it also makes you realize that, yeah, I am choosing to hold on to it, and that's okay. But it also means if I am choosing to hold on to it, also means I can let go of it. But when you do
the key feeling or the key message here is about awareness, isn't it? Which is what I think is the key takeaway from our conversation today, and where, you know, you and I, with the benefit of looking back on how we used to be about all of this 15 years ago and how we are now, it seems the really important thing is to expand in your awareness and your self-observation and your kindness towards yourself. I think you mentioned something along those lines as well. And you can't go far wrong if that's your way of being or your way of looking at life, it would seem.
Yeah, it's just taking it easy, being easy on yourself. You can fit this into anything. Be aware of what books you read, what feels right, especially in this world where all the information is out there. Take discernment. Like I said about the political thing in America, it's fascinating for me because I'm being aware of things that's triggered in me and going, actually, it's okay to like some things Trumps have done. And if we're constantly aware of ourselves, of what we're thinking and feeling, going back to this feeling, then our awareness dissipates any resistance. And the less resistant we are, the lighter we feel, the better we attract, and the better we give. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, and that's, I guess that's one end of the spectrum, isn't it? Of like being freely aware and open to what's going on, such that you could observe it. And if you like, the other end of that spectrum is being overwhelmed by these polarizing, undermining feelings. But even then, if you can create a little bit of space between yourself and that phenomenon or that effect, that gives you a little bit of light coming into the situation, doesn't it?
And you've hit the nail on the head. Great way to finish it. It's not about suddenly fixing this today. It's just about that awareness creates that little chink of light, and that's all you need to feel better for today. And then just keep doing it. Yeah,
and keep being kind to yourself, kind to other people. See what comes up, because a lot is coming up. Orbs are everywhere, as a little representation of all the things, all the variables and curveballs that are coming into our life right now. And
it's an exciting time. If we can see it as awful or exciting, and it's probably a bit of them all, but I'm going to focus on the exciting bit because we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, the thing is, this would normally be a 30-minute show. It's going to have to be a 24-hour marathon because the mouse isn't working and I can't turn the show off. So you and I have to keep talking now until we pass out or go to sleep or something like that, or I go to
like a live-a-thon to kind of like raise.
It's turned into a live-a-thon. I think our transmission will be cut on New Reality TV anyway, because it will go back to the schedule there. So thank you very much for tuning in to us today. I was without a mouse. It's the first time this has ever happened to me. But I think in all of the 15 years that I've been doing this sort of broadcasting, I don't think I've ever had the mouse not work and disappear. Or I actually got 2 mice on the table here, Ben, and neither of them work. And it's just frozen on the screen. So I wonder
enjoy the moment, Cocker.
if
Enjoy
Mrs.
the
M
moment.
can do something on the other side of the room and maybe turn the show off for me, that would be great. It's fine over there, just wasn't working.